Hey everyone, Mike and Joel
Are you
back.
starting?
What?
You're starting the video?
Yeah, you said I was leaving
I
it.
wasn't
Well,
starting.
let's just keep going.
Alright.
just, I mean, might as well. Hope you guys are having a great life group. Mike and Joel back here for another week. So, Joel, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Right? If you could get past that verse, the rest of the Bible just kind of falls into place.
Yeah, everything else makes sense. If God's powerful enough to speak the world into existence, then I don't really have a problem with anything else.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's kind of the stumbling block because in the beginning, God, He created. Now, people that come in to seek to compromise, especially in the idea of inputting evolution into a Christian perspective, because they're thinking, well, because of these reasons. Hugh Ross on one of the video that I referenced was saying because the sun and moon and stuff, the gravitational pull would have been all out of whack. And he's using these as excuses to why the original days and to bring his kind of progressive creationist idea. And Ken Ham goes, or Jason Loud, I don't remember, goes, hey, in the beginning God created. Like, I have no problem. Gravitational pulls, this is a supernatural, miraculous event. So I don't need the laws of physics to describe how God did this. This is actually outside of the laws of physics. Because in the beginning, God. Right? When we wrestle with that, everything else just kind of falls into place.
Mm-hmm.
So this topic of creation and evolution, it's a debated topic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a highly controversial topic. There's passionate defenders on all different sides, and there's multiple sides. But Joel, what do you think are the necessities that somebody needs to believe?
Yeah, thinking in terms of, and you're right how controversial this is. I think of guys, you mentioned Chuck Smith early on, kind of holding to gap theory. You mentioned how R.C. Sproul, formerly held to a framework perspective. Even guys like John Piper and I was surprised you mentioned Walter Kaiser, who is, by all of their accounts, a really conservative Old Testament scholar. And so these guys I respect, and again, you said these guys they're saved, they're awesome brothers and sisters in Christ who have these differing perspectives. To me, it comes down to they just theologically, if we're thinking in terms of salvation, the other stuff we can debate upon, but it comes back to a view of God's power and God's goodness. Yes, God is able to speak the world into existence in 6 literal 24-hour days, and that just speaks to his power, his sovereignty. If I believe God is powerful and sovereign, omnipotent, I believe he can do that. And if I believe he's good, then we can't go to evolution. Mm-hmm. That can't be a part of the creative process. We need we need no death. We need no death before the fall to make that happen. That works theologically. That's the only way the theology of something like Romans chapter 5 works out, where it talks about about the sin of Adam bringing forth death into the human race. So those to me are the essentials when we're talking about this subject.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, so good. Is God created? I mean, I think that's like when we talk about essential. Like, no, God, this was a supernatural act of God according to the Bible. That's non-negotiable. One of the, like you said, Romans chapter 5. You have to have a historic Adam, right? Or else that crumbles.
Right.
And a lot of the problem is with these compromising theories that they come in, they have to dance around this idea of, well, this wasn't, it's not really a literal Adam. It's kind of talking about humanity in general, or maybe God stepped in and took this Homo sapien look-alike creature and then put his stamp of his image on him, and that was Adam. Like, they're just doing all kinds of dancing around the text. from the motivation of millions of years, right?
Mhm.
Like that's their motivation. We have to fit this in, and but the plain reading of the text, it doesn't allow for that.
Mhm.
So when we talk about like the essentials, if if you want to say, okay, the days of creation aren't literal 24-hour days, can you still be saved?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
That's
we
not
said- yeah.
that's not affecting salvation.
Mhm.
When you start compromising, I think, on death before sin,
Yeah.
you start compromising the very nature of God. I think you start chipping away
Mhm.
at the effect and the truthfulness and the power of the gospel, and that's what makes this portion of text, I mean, the beginning of the Bible. If we can't believe this,
Mhm.
why continue on? It makes it such a important topic to discuss.
Right. And science too is this. It's always changing,
Mhm.
and I think this comes down to it comes down to just the lens through which we view things. If I'm trying to reinterpret the Bible based on science, I'm reinterpreting something that never changes. Based upon something that's always kind of in flux, and that's why science it's full of theories. And that's not to rag on science. It's good. Science is good, and you know why? Because God created science. He created us and humans beings to look into these things. And so for you guys' discussion tonight, I've revolved the questions not so much around as much around the subject of creation as behind this worldview of God, and really the type of issues that we come across in life where we're tempted to compromise. I understand that because this is a controversial subject, there may be people in our groups who don't really see eye to eye on this issue. But where I want our conversations to go is, what do we do when we're confronted with a temptation to give in on an issue because of science or because of culture? And so that's, I think, the first question that I gave you guys tonight veers in that direction. So we love you guys. We hope you have some great discussion tonight and are encouraged and blessed. And we'll see you later.
God bless.